All right, we're here. We are live with Hoonuit Live, and we are here with Lisa, and I'm so excited because there is just going to be learning happening for the next 2.5 hours. 5 incredible learning ambassadors that are going to be joining in, sharing just awesome stuff, just awesome stuff. Just looking at all of our learning ambassadors are all coming from different backgrounds, different expertise. And I'm really excited because I think this is going to be a good time for all of us to just really reflect on our teaching practices and then look to the future of what we need to do and change that will make it better for our kids. So I'm super excited because Lisa is first on deck and she is ready to go. She has some really cool topics to talk about, and it's going to be just an enormous amount of resources you're going to walk away from this experience. And as well as if you haven't registered yet, now's the time to get registered. Everybody that does register for the event will get a 90-day subscription trial for them to check out Hoonuit by Atomic Learning, and it will give you a chance to go in and experience some of this learning for yourself. If you already have an account, that's great, but for those that don't, this might be a great opportunity to get some summer PD in and to be able to learn and grow with one another. So this ambassador program is phenomenal, and I can't speak any more praises than I already do. I feel like everybody's like, yeah, Jamie, but it's the truth. They're really incredible, and I'm just so excited to be a part of this with them. So Lisa, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself.
Okay, well, one second. I think, am I now me?
Yeah, you're good.
Do you see me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, there we go. Hi, I'm Lisa Monti. I am the technology specialist for Waco ISD in Waco, Texas. And I have been so fortunate to be part of the ambassador program. I am working on a level 3 ambassador. So it's really, really exciting. The people that I've met through the ambassador program are just phenomenal. You get so many awesome ideas, practical things that you can take away every time I talk to them through chat or through, like I said, we have Google Hangouts, we have meetings, all the time. So I'm so blessed to be a part of this group of people. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my screen. So give me one moment. Okay. And I have created a Google Slides presentation. And so how this all started is, again, I'm in Waco, Texas. So we have quite a few state tests. And, in spring, the teachers are looking for new ideas for how to review content. And specifically content that maybe the kiddos have been unsuccessful with in the past, or maybe content that they haven't looked at in quite a long time, or maybe it's, again, their second time to take the test. And so again, just trying to do some new and different ways of reviewing content. Right now, we are currently running summer school again for 5th and 8th graders. And so I'm even now helping teachers use these tools as a way of reviewing for the STAR, the end of course exam. I've given you the URL there. It is a bit.ly. And so I'll wait just a moment so you can grab that or write it down. And so I'm going to talk through some of the slides with you. So the first part of being a Texas educator is we have such a great relationship with GoNoodle. GoNoodle has received a grant from Children's Health that has really enabled them to take GoNoodle to a whole new level. When you think of GoNoodle, you think of brain breaks, or possibly you even think of, options for when weather is bad outside, or things to get the wiggles out or get us to even, calm down and refocus. What I like about GoNoodle is because of this grant from Children's Health, when you come into channels now, there is a GoNoodle Plus channel. And what I love about this is it will incorporate your content with the brain break. So what you do as a teacher is you come in and you create question sets of questions. And what's cool about these question sets is you can share them with your other teachers. So maybe this 6 weeks, I'm going to create the question sets for my team. And then maybe next 6 weeks, someone else will create the question sets for the team. And again, and you can share those. So it's not, one person always having to, create the sets. There are so many really cool brain breaks in here. One of them I like a lot is called Freeze It. And this is perfect. It plays music. It tells the kids to dance around to the music. And then when the music stops, you freeze. And then something displays on the screen. So this could be maybe a sight word that we all say out loud or we all read out loud. Or this could be a simple math problem that we maybe turn to our elbow partner and answer. Or it could even be a sentence stem of content that we've reviewed in the past. So again, it's a really neat way of, like I said, reviewing content. Another one I like a lot is Think on Your Feet. This game reminds me of Family Feud. And so you would divide your classroom in half, and all of the kiddos are doing the brain break at the same time. And then one side is answering the questions. And then it keeps track for you of the score. And then you play the next round. And again, the other side gets their opportunity to answer questions. So it's really fun. Depending on how long you want to play the game is going to determine how many questions you need. So like if you want to play for 2 minutes or 4 minutes or 6 minutes, it gives you a suggestion as far as how many questions you need to create. So there are so many really cool, like I said, brain breaks that now weave in your content. Here at Waco ISD, we are conscious discipline campuses. And so there are some really good tools in here as well for, reinforcing our conscious discipline, helping us, calm down, make better choices, etc. So that is GoNoodle, and specifically that is the GoNoodle Plus channel. When you sign up for GoNoodle Plus, again, make sure you use your school email address and choose your campus. And like I said, odds are likely you're included in that grant. If not, you can always contact the people at GoNoodle. They're super friendly and they're really quick to help you. So that's GoNoodle. Another tool that I like quite a bit is Quizzes or Quizzies. I'm not sure the pronunciation, but I like it. It's a really nice alternative to Kahoot. What's different about Quizzies is it is student-paced, it is real-time feedback, and it works for any device. It is also, there's a library of questions built in, so you don't always have to recreate the wheel. As in using Quizzes, what you can do is you can actually start it as a center or a station. And when the students get to that center or station, they work at their own pace. So whereas Kahoot, you have to, stand up there and move the questions along, Quizzes or Quizzies goes at their own pace. There are so many features that you can enable or disable. You can have them reward for speed and accuracy. You can have them show leaderboards. You can have them, there's memes there's a meme right there. You can enable the memes. The kids just really like this. It's really, really engaging. And so how I've seen teachers use it is, like I said, the teacher will start the game. And then when the students come through that center or station, they work. And like I said, this is really good review for, like I said, any content, but specifically for the STAR. So that's Quizzes or Quizzies. The next tool that I love is Plickers. I've been a Plickers fan from day one. When you go to Plickers, you can print off the free set of cards. And so you print them off, and they look like QR codes. And what you do as a teacher is you go in and you add the questions you want to ask. Then you use either your cell phone or a tablet. The question will pop up on the screen, and you will take your device and scan the room. The students hold up the QR code for the right answer. So when you look at the QR code or the Plickers card, at the top, it'll be A, and then if you turn it, it'll say B and C and D. And so again, that's how the students know how they're answering. What I do with my Plickers cards is on the back, I even write the letters A, B, C, D. So there's no confusion on how they want to answer. But Plickers is a great way. You can be at the front of the room and you can scan and it will pick up all the way to the back of the room. So it's a really, really nice way to do those quick checks for understanding. Another thing I love are QR codes. I'm so excited that I've been reading a lot about iOS 11 coming, and it will have a tool in there to read QR codes. In the past, you've had to download a QR code reader, but with the newest version of iOS 11, that will be included. So what's really cool, I've given you access there to a matching template and a cube template. These are the QR cubes. Let me see if I can hold them up and see them. These all you have to do is print these off and you cut them and you can tape them. I did these on paper, but you might want to do them on a cardstock just because so they'll last a little bit longer. But when the student rolls the cube and scans it, it can be a multiple choice question. It could be a question stem that you're, using in class. It could be a task that they are to do. It could be anything from a journal writing prompt to a turn and talk with your elbow partner. What I like these is once you make them, you can just go into your template and change whatever it is, the information you want to scan. So these are really, really fun ways of reviewing. What I do as a teacher sometimes is I'll have these at my teacher table, or when I'm doing a direct teach, and I'll roll the cube myself and scan it. And that's the one that we all talk aloud, or we write, or we turn and talk to our neighbor. So it's a really fun way to, like I said, kind of shake it up and keep the students on their toes. Another one I like is the QR matching template. I'll print these and put these in baggies. And so again, at a center or a station, anything that matches, you could do this with. And so I did states and capitals, but this could easily be vocab terms and definitions. This could be important dates. This could be historical figures. I mean, really, this could be any matching activity. I would print these on cardstock because they do need to lie flat so that you can read with the QR code reader. And so what the student does is comes through, lays them out, sets them side by side, and scans them. And when it's a correct answer, their text will say, "Good job, you're the best, number one, way to go." There's all different kinds of responses already built in. And so what I like about that template is, again, you can just change out the content, whether you want it to be, like I said, words and definitions, people and places. I've even thought of doing it for grammar review, for parts of speech, for those complex compound sentences. I mean, there's all kinds of ways you can use that template there. The next tool I like a lot is Formative. What I like with Formative are the multiple ways that you can answer a question. So with GoFormative, you can, of course, do a multiple choice. You can do a short answer, or there's a tool in there that actually lets you illustrate or write out your answer. So this is really good if you're doing a math problem. You could have them solve the problem, so you could see perhaps where there was a misconception or a misunderstanding or an underdeveloped concept. You could have them, if they're practicing writing sight words, again, have them write a sight word. You could have them, again, add an illustration. If you're doing something with science, maybe the life cycle, you could have them illustrate that. What I like is with Formative, when you go and watch, those videos play automatically for you. So it's a really cool feature that the kids like. Again, it's something different than just typing in an answer or just selecting a multiple choice answer. And like I said, illustrating it really does show you where they may have went awry. I'm always asked for Jeopardy style games. This is my favorite tool. I swear I've used this since I started teaching. This is Jeopardy Labs, and there are a ton of them already created. So you can go in. I'm always looking for ones to fill time. Even this is my 14th year doing this. My lessons run quick. Sometimes I think something will last longer than it does. I'll go in here and I'll bookmark certain ones like Disney trivia or pop trivia, and we'll play those. And what I like about it is once you create it, it's yours forever. You just have to remember the URL. So again, all of these tools are free. This one, you just have to remember where it is you kept it. But like I said, with this one, there are so many that are already created. Just go in there and start looking around. So it's really fun. Another tool I like a lot is Quizalize. And Quizalize, like I said, the tools, they have different features. And so with this one, what I like the most is the ability to, I'm going to full screen this so I can actually show it. Hopefully that won't do anything. The ability to see who needs help, who is on the grade level, who has got it and can move on. And so what I like about this is while the students are working through, again, this can be a center or a station, you can view the live game, but like I said, it breaks it down into your RTI tiers. So again, you can see your level 1, your level 2, and your level 3. You can also save or export your results to a spreadsheet so you can sort and manipulate it however you want to. I like it also tells, like I said, it identifies the students, but then the data does show like how much they need to go to the next level. So I do like that feature with Quizalize. Padlet is another tool that I've used so much for formative assessment. What I've done, let me see if this one will pull up for me, is I've used Padlet as a way of starting a lesson as a hook or an anticipatory set. This one is practicing inferences. And so I've got some pictures on here. And so again, students would come on and the first thing they would do while they're, their must do or their bell ringer, warmer, whatever you call it, would be to come and post on the Padlet. So what do you think of the restaurant? How is she feeling? What happened before this picture was taken? And so again, that's going to lead us into a lesson on making inferences. Again, inferences is your background knowledge plus your text evidence makes your inference. And so, like I said, this is just getting us into our lesson. I've used this as a closer too of a 3-2-1, maybe 3 things you learned, 2 takeaways, 1 question you still have. This is, like I said, this setting here, this Padlet is great for those, like I said, quick post-it notes almost of exit tickets out the door. I love Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is a way to make any video into your lesson. I've seen this used for flipping classrooms. What the teachers will do is they'll find a video or they'll create a video. With Edpuzzle, it talks to all these different video outlets, of course, YouTube, Vimeo, TeacherTube, etc. You can go in, you can search for a video, which there are, like I said, a ton already created, or you can make your own. What I like about it too is when you find the video, you can crop it to the point that you want the students to watch. So maybe you don't want them to watch the end, or maybe you want it to start midway through. If you also would like, you can put your voice over, you can voice over narrate. So maybe you want to summarize a video that's that doesn't have any words or what have you. What I like about it is, again, when you get to certain points in your video, you can pause it and you can create a question that the students answer. And so it really keeps the students engaged with the video, and it also tells you as the teacher, like I said, what they missed, what they got, what I might need to go back and revisit or reteach. Quizlet. I love Quizlet. I've used Quizlet again from day one in my personal life and with my students. What I like about Quizlet now is they've got some new kind of ways to review. So when you come in here now, of course you have your traditional flashcards, but then I like they have a matching game that you can play and a really fun game called Gravity. If I am practicing for spelling or again practicing sight words, there is the spell feature, there's the learn feature, and there is also the test yourself ability. So like I said, the flashcards were amazing, but now you've got all these other cool ways of reviewing. And like the other tools, when you create your flashcards, you can share them with other teachers. And like I said, they've got quite a big library. Go in and look and see what's already created there. Flip quiz. Flip quiz is a really fun Jeopardy style board. What I like about it, I like the white space. I like the way it's laid out. And again, lots of these are already created too. This one just visually, I like it. It zooms in and out. It has a feel almost of like a Prezi sometimes. So it's a really nice. It's designed very well. So I really like Flip Quiz. Flippity. I love Google Forms, and so Flippity lets you take anything in a spreadsheet and do fun stuff with it. So if you have your information in a form and eventually into a spreadsheet, you can make flashcards, you can make, again, another Jeopardy style quiz show, you can do hangman, bingo, you name it. I'm an English teacher at heart. I like the Mad Libs. What I like about the Flippity website is the demo and the template is already there. So you can click on the demo, you can see how it works, and then boom, you grab that template and you go put your content in. And so it's really easy to use. And then once you've created it, of course, it's saved forever in your Google Drive. So Flippity is a really good one. And lastly, Flubaroo. I love Flubaroo. Again, Flubaroo lets you create self-grading quizzes. So you go and set up your form, you install the add-on of Flubaroo, and it grades it for you. So again, small checks for understanding you're not going to be bogged down by having to constantly grade all of that. The system will grade it for you. So again, you can focus on instruction, on reteaching, and on differentiation. So that's the slideshow that I have. I'm going to come back over to the Zoom, and I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, so Jamie, that's all I have.
Awesome. Okay, so first, one of the questions that Mason came in with was, can you show that bit.ly again? Because all of your resources, I really think people want to have that. So if you want to screen share and leave it on that bit.ly slide.
Absolutely.
So watching in will have that access as well.
Okay.
And
1 second. Okay. And yes, I do save to the desktop. I think there is a support group out there for people like me. So 1 second. And there it is.
Perfect. Yeah, I think that looking at even Google Slides, the nice thing is as you develop this presentation and even add more resources, will you be adding to this so that other people will see the latest and the greatest? Or do you think?
Absolutely. Yes, this is something I'll continue to add to because, like I said, formative assessment is an ongoing part of your classroom. And so the easier and the quicker we can do it, the more, like I said, we can take that data and do stuff with it.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the responses from YouTube were talking about some of the tools that you were mentioning. GoNoodle was mentioned by Joy, and Joy was mentioning that her students like to use that a lot. Would you say that GoNoodle is a way to assess? So how would you, as a classroom teacher, use something like GoNoodle, which is a very active, engaging, interactive way to get kids up and moving? How can that be used and review?
Okay, so again, one of the GoNoodle activities that is leveraged quite a bit at the elementary levels is the body spell. So again, as a teacher, I could watch with my, just watch and observe that are they able to spell out the words, with their little bodies. So that's just one of them that you observe. The others, like I said, where you actually like freeze, for example, you could gauge by the volume in the room if they all were able to read the sight word, or you could hear if they called out the answer to the math problem and maybe they got it incorrect. Or like I said, if it was more of a discussion stem, like I said, just hearing that level of conversation in the room is going to cue you in on, okay, yeah, they've got it, or no, I might need to go back and revisit that.
Mm-hmm,
and then the other game show feelings ones, the think on your feet, you know right away, because those are actually multiple choice. So that side of the room would have to say the answer is A or B, and the teacher would click it, and immediately it's going to say or yes, you got that right, and award you points. So it just depends on which brain break you use.
So Emily came in and is super excited to try out Plickers. So let's say you have a teacher that's ready to jump on board with Plickers. What would you recommend as far as like, I'm ready to go, I'm ready to do this? What would you say is some ways to get them started?
Again, so print off the cards. That's the first thing. When you go onto the Plickers website, all the way to the far right, it says cards. Print off your cards and cut those out. Like I said, I labeled the backs just so, again, there's no confusion for the students and holding it up, what's A, what's B, what's C. Like any other technology, I would start with content that is not intimidating. So like I said, we would learn Plickers by playing the Disney trivia. And so that is a non-threatening way of learning the technology. I don't think I would jump into a full-blown content review without us gradually learning the technology. And so I would probably, like I said, the first few questions might be, who sang Let It Go and Froze Her Sister and questions like that, and then delve into content.
Yeah. What is your favorite tool? Like, which tool is your go-to with people?
They're all different, and it really, it's right now my favorite one is Quizzes or Quizzies, simply because it is student paced. And so what I like about it is it frees me up as a teacher. I can be at a teacher table, pulling my small group, and there are still centers going on. And like I said, I don't have to be as hands-on managing that one as some of the others. But like I said, the QR matching activities are really good too. I like those because I'm kind of a hoarder of things. And so you can make them, you can put them in the Ziploc bags and you have them for, the next time. So it's, like I said, it's kind of whatever you're looking for at the time.
Awesome. Okay. So in looking at these different tools and looking at the opportunities students have to learn, one of the tools that I was super surprised to not see on your list is Nearpod. So I know Nearpod is, on my end, I'm thinking about VR. So I'm super pumped about the 360 part of it. But I know Nearpod is a tool that's been around for a little while and you're able to assess. So I'm just curious, is that a tool that you use? Is that a tool you have available?
We do have it available, and some of our campuses are very heavy into Nearpod. Those campuses are our one-to-one campuses. So we have a really high usage at our one-to-one campuses. Some of our campuses are not quite there yet. We're BYOD or we're mixed bag on technology. So like I said, Nearpod is a really good one. And like I said, our one-to-one campuses use that quite a bit. It's a little more difficult to use when you don't have all of the devices.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Is there any other recommendations you would say jumping into something like this if somebody is not familiar with many of these tools?
Just try it out. The kids are the experts. Again, have them help you. It builds that confidence. When I was in the classroom, I would always call on the kiddos that, like I said, may not be academically, my best ones, but I guarantee that, you're building that relationship when they can help the teacher, when they know the technology. They're the expert now in the classroom, and that is building up that confidence and capacity.
That's awesome. Well, Lisa, you are fantastic. Thank you for sharing all of your knowledge. I think that is just so helpful to just have all these resources. To be honest with you, when I was going through your proposal and looking at some of these, I was like, I've never even heard of that. I've never even heard of that. So it was really cool to just like see it. And, you kind of feel like you see the same ones for years and years at conferences. And you really brought to light some of the newer ones and also some of the ways that we can utilize that in the classroom, because that's hard to do sometimes, how can I put that into practice? So thank you again so much for your time and for joining us in for Hoonuit Live.
You're welcome. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and move over to another session with Alan, and I'll give him a chance to come in here and explain himself and who he is and what he does. He's pretty phenomenal. The more that I get to know Alan, the more I realize that I have a lot to learn. He comes with an extreme amount of knowledge. I will say that right now we have people joining in. You may or may not have already registered. I did put in a link inside of our YouTube Live event up at the very top in our chat, so you are able to get registered. But I'm going to go ahead and just screen share that here briefly. So if you are wanting to get registered and you missed that, I want to make sure that we get that to you as well. Let's see. All right. I'm going to go ahead and just screen share my whole screen here, but you should be able to see it right here in the middle. And we are live. I am checking out the chat for our presenters coming in. And so as you are having questions regarding what they're talking about or the topic or responses, I'll make sure to relay that information over to the presenter. If you haven't registered, it's tiny.cc/whoknewitlive. And I'm going to stop screen sharing because I am ready to go ahead. Alan, if you want to turn on your microphone and your video, and we'll get you started here and sharing. How's it going?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
Doing great, doing great. So are you ready to get going? Would you like to introduce yourself and where you're from?
Yeah, sure. My name is Alan Nadachu. I'm a technology training coordinator with the Center for Excellence in Teaching and Learning here in Madison, Wisconsin. And today I'll be presenting on GooseChase.
Awesome. Oh, yay, we get to play. Oh, I forgot all about this. So I downloaded the app. I'm excited to get started. I'm going to let you take over and I'll be here in the background watching for comments and trying to beat everybody else. So thank you.
So I'm going to start screen sharing my entire desktop. Okay, that's everybody. Hello, everybody. Let me pull up my presentation and welcome. Today, I'm going to be talking a bit about GooseChase and how we used it here at Madison College and how you could use it in your own educational life. First off, I want to talk a little bit about how you can locate this game. Well, I'm jumping ahead of myself. To help me out in a demo, I want to ask you, what city are you viewing from? For me, I am viewing from Madison, Wisconsin. The reason why I asked this, there's a GPS function within GooseChase that I want to demonstrate. And if you answer, you may get awarded some points. And how do you play GooseChase? GooseChase is an Android and iOS app. You visit your app store and download GooseChase. You do need to create an account to play. You can create an account with your email, or you can sign in with Facebook to play. Once you create that account, search for Hoonuit Live. The game is #WhoKnewItLive, spelled properly, just as you see on the screen, to join the game. And after that, it's going to ask for a password. The password is the same. It's the same as our Twitter tag, #WhoKnewItLive. I'm going to pull up my screen here. I'm going to hop out of here for a moment and pull this up. So I got the game loaded on an iPad. I'm going to hit the search button in the upper right-hand side. I'm already logged in. And then I'm going to type in #WhoKnewIt. Tap on it. I'm going to join the game. And then I have to enter that hashtag again. It has to be spelled exactly the same as Whoknewitlive right here. So give me a moment to enter that. And once you're ready to play. What you see here is a list of missions that you can do to complete for points. Each mission is different, and I'm going to give you a hint so that everyone's on a fair playing ground and everyone who's logging in has a chance to play and play for bragging rights, the top 3 spots. So once you're here, I'm going to scroll down. And there's a section called Presenter Bingo. There are 4 easy questions here that you can answer. The first one being, what's the password for Whoknewitlive's GooseChase game? The answer is right there in the sentence. Where is Alan located? And a couple other questions that we're going to ask. Later on, I'm going to scroll down a little bit more. We're going to be talking about how to take a picture, how to add a GPS location. But for everyone who's joining in, definitely fill out this information here. Ooh, tell the truth, I'm a little nervous now. All right, so you downloaded GooseChase, you searched for it, and you entered the password. So how did we come to use this here at Madison College? Well, I sit on a committee called the Tech Academy Committee, and every year we run a professional development conference for our faculty, staff, and admins. In 2005, that's when we first started experimenting with gamification, and we came up with our theme of spies. Tech Academy 2015 had a very spy-heavy theme. We were able to enroll our president to be a boss, be that person who's contacting everyone and telling them their missions. We sent people out into the Madison College communities to go find objects. We employed augmented reality. We use PowerPoint, we use YouTube, we use Google Forms. We even had people call a Google Voice number and listen to a voicemail in order to solve a particular mission. That was very exciting. The year after that was Tech Academy Innovation League. It was comic-based. So we had a lot of comic themes there. But this year we wanted to try something different. We wanted to try something called an escape room. It was a great team building exercise for people who participated. And for those of you that don't know, an escape room is a scenario where you're locked inside a room. Don't worry, there's always an exit. It's not permanent. You're locked inside a room and you have to solve a series of clues in order to get out. It's a great team building exercise to see the dynamics of how your team works. I was really psyched about participating and helping out with doing this, except for one thing that year. I was diagnosed with stage 3 colorectal cancer. And don't worry about it. I've been clean, I've been diagnosed, and then I went to my oncologist and I got this thing called no evidence of disease. So that's great. That's great for me. But why do I bring that up here? Well, for our gamification experiences here at Madison College, we needed a change because it took a lot of time. That espionage game that we were playing, it took about a month to plan and a month to implement. That was way too much time in order for us to do the game. A lot of energy to set up the escape room. It took way too much energy because once someone got done with the game, we had to go and reset it. With the espionage thing, we had to make sure that people were playing and we had to keep on them to keep playing. So it took a lot of energy. And because of that, all the games that we were developing, it took too many resources. I mean, we were pulling resources from the web. We were pulling resources from within our department. We were going outside our department. It was a great community experience, don't get me wrong, but it took a lot of people, a lot of community to get these games going. And after my battle with cancer, we wanted to make sure that we could provide the same experience, the same top level experience, but reduce the time needed to create it, reduce the amount of energy needed to create it, and reduce the amount of resources that we need to implement it. So we come to this year. Over the past year, there was something, you may have heard of it, Pokemon Go. You go out, search for Pokemons. I'm at level 25 right now, Team Valor. But with Pokemon Go, that gave us the inspiration for Tech Academy Go. And we were looking for a way to recreate the Pokemon Go experience. None of us on our team are app developers. We couldn't find anyone who could develop an app on the same lines of Pokemon Go. So we went out and looking, and that's when we discovered GooseChase. Now, here is a demo of GooseChase. GooseChase is a scavenger hunt application. You use it to create your own digital scavenger hunt. And there's 3 types of questions. There's a text question, a photo question, and a GPS question. I'm going to go in and I am going to scroll down and I'm going to type in an answer. I see this one toward the bottom. Complete the following sentence. And for those of you playing along, you could submit any answer. This is totally open. But this is one of my favorite quotes from Steve Jobs. Stay hungry, stay foolish. You enter in your text. And I'm going to enter a caption. Your answer will remain hidden from other players, but your caption will be public to the players. I'm going to submit my evidence. And then when I submit, I get those points. For a photo, second screen phenomenon. For a photo, you just tap on it. It asks you to snap your evidence. It asks for you to access the camera, go ahead and do all that crazy stuff. Take your picture. I'm looking at actually 3 screens now because I'm holding my device and doing this. And I submit. Sure, I want to save it. Why not? And last one is the GPS one. Now, this is where I was asking where you're from. If you were following along on Twitter, you may be wondering, hey, what's this guy asking where I'm from? Well, this is why. This thing can track a GPS location. Let's say I'm in Honolulu. I'm not in Honolulu, I'm in Madison, Wisconsin, but if I acquire GPS, it's going to point me in where I'm at right now, and I'm going to accept my location. Then I'm going to submit my evidence. Because I'm not in Hawaii, it knows that I'm not there because of GPS. So where does all that information go to? Let me go back. Let me close this out. Go back a little bit. Well, as you start collecting points, as you start going about these missions, and feel free to play as I'm talking, you get to see what other people are doing by tapping on the feed button at the bottom of your screen. Ha, yeah, we got people playing. You can scroll through. Picture ones will come through. Text answers will always be hidden. Ooh, I like that one. So you could get a heads up as to what people are doing. You can see who is in the top spot by tapping the rankings. And we got a couple people who are really playing right now. And if you want to see what you submitted, you can tap on my activity, and that will show you all the things that you've submitted. Now, this is the user end. I set this up prior to this event. I set up this scavenger hunt. I'm going to go up to Safari. And we're actually going to log in and see what happens on the back end. GooseChase is an application that you can use. It comes in various flavors. There's a free flavor for up to 25 people. You can host a game. Then it comes in an education package, which they're redoing their pricing for that, as well as packages for conferences, professional development, so on and so forth. I'm going to click on My Games. And then right now it's telling me that it's live. Here I get to set up all my information, what the game is about, add a description, add a password. And here is where I can add the missions. If this is your first time doing a GooseChase and you don't know what to do, GooseChase is pretty awesome at letting you know, hey, we know, we feel you. Here's some suggestions, the GooseChase mission bank. And these things, they're just simple missions that you can use as inspiration, or you can use as to use in your game. Now, this one, photo shoot, take a picture of a stranger taking a picture of you. That sounds interesting. If I want to add it, I can click add, and there it is. What's great about GooseChase is that if the moment hits you, let's say you're using this on a field trip and you see an opportunity to add a question, you can add it on the fly and it will become part of the mission list. The mission list is here, and that contains all the questions that you have answered. You could assign different point values. You could tell people if it's going to be a photo question, a GPS question, or a text question. So let's go ahead and add a GPS question. Jamie, did anyone send you any information about GPS locations? Anyone give you a city and a state?
Yes, we actually had quite a few in here that were sharing where they were from. I'm going to go ahead and go back and read some of those for you. Okay, so we have EdTech Mason. Mason's in the house, and he is in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas.
Okay. We have Michael in Buffalo, New York. Emily in Eden Prairie, Minnesota.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
We only got 4 minutes in this game, so I want to make sure we got people who submitted those to get their points. Thank you, Jamie.
I know. Dominique in Louisville, Kentucky, and Joy in Georgia, and Christine in Curtis, Ohio. So we also have Humble, Texas by Trina, and we have some folks out in Atlanta, Georgia, Sandra. We have
nice.
in Myrtle Beach and South Carolina. So everybody's abbreviating and putting my mind to the test here, but people are joining. And we got we currently have that high points for CM Danhoff, 7,900 points right now in the rankings.
Nice.
I'm kind of frustrated.
People are eating this up. That's great. So I'm going to add a mission on the fly. It's going to be a GPS mission. If I choose from here, insert photo, video mission, I could also change it to be a text or a GPS mission. And Buffalo, New York is next. I had this game end at 6:50 Central Time, so we only got a few minutes. So to you in Buffalo, I'm going to make this quick. This is a GPS one. I can add a description. And then I'm going to set the destination for Buffalo, New York. Now, you could be exact or you could be general. In this case, I'm going to be general. When I search for Buffalo, New York, it puts me smack dab in Buffalo, New York. And I can choose how big of my circle I want it to be. I could choose to have a 50-meter circle or a 5-kilometer circle. Let me zoom out here. So I hope you're within that area. If you're in the suburbs, I'm sorry, you won't get the points, but you can see how big or how small, how tight your circle can be for someone to check in. I'm going to set the location. I'm going to save changes, and that question is live. If you're from Buffalo, New York, go get those points. Another thing about GooseChase is that you could set up teams. This is an individual game, but you can set up teams beforehand or create teams, have people join teams individually. That's something good for elementary kids who may not have a Facebook account or who may not be old enough to sign up for an account. You can have someone in charge sign up for them and then go off and do your hunt together. Start, stop times. You can set the start and stop. Right now, we got 1 minute and 38 seconds. So if you're still playing, keep playing. And me, as game master, I get to see what's happening. Let me pull up here. When we go into the feed, we get to see what people are submitting. Some answers are hidden. I love that picture. But as the game master, I get to see the activity feed, but I get to see more. I get to see what people have typed, what people have submitted. All right, someone's visiting my Twitter page. Yum. And then I get to see the leaderboard from here. That's great and all, but what really makes this game great, especially from a standpoint from an educator, you want to know if your students are getting the content, you want to know if they are participating. You could see individual submissions. Now, you can see submissions grouped by name. Smile, you're on Hootsuite. Hey, all right. Who knew it live? I'm sorry, I just caught myself there. But you can see who submitted. And if someone submitted a wrong answer, this is me right here. If, let's say I submitted a wrong answer, I could say delete submission. And then I could take those points away. Let's see if someone sang something. Let's see, STEM Steam, second heart pets. Okay. I know you're supposed to show someone that, but that's a really cool picture. I am going to add some bonus points to that. I'm going to add 200 bonus points. And as Game Master, I have the ability to add points. I have the ability to subtract points, but I also get the ability to see whether or not people are getting it. Complete the following sentence one. That is the question. Yep. The original question was complete the following sentence, to be or not to be. That is the question. I was really hoping someone would say not to be, to quote Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that's just me and my geekiness. But anyway, you get to see everyone's content. And you can even download everyone's submissions by clicking the download submissions button, group by mission, or one big folder. Any photos that have been uploaded, any movies that have been uploaded, all the text answers will come down in the Excel spreadsheet. They'll all be packaged in one zip file and download to your computer.
Hey, Alan, I have a quick question for you.
Yes, yes.
I went to go submit an image, and of course, we've run out of time. And but are you able to extend the time if you wanted to? Like, could you change that once it's already ended?
You mean like this?
Yeah. So can we go another few more minutes as people are submitting
Sure.
that? Awesome.
Let's go another 30 minutes.
Awesome.
Why not?
I know. And if you wanted to hop back on, or do you want to share maybe on Twitter the winners, or why don't you share out some of the prizes you have too?
All right. For that, I will have to stop because, you know, this is a stopping point, but I will turn it back on so that people can continue playing.
Okay.
Let's take a look at the leaderboards. Oh, did I mention we were going to have prizes? So we got prizes for the top 3 participants. So we have TXSam4. So congratulations, TXSam4. I will be sending you a Madison College mug for your coffee or tea, soda, whatever you want to use it for. So that would be from me. I'll send that directly to you. I'll get in contact with Jamie. We could coordinate how to get that to you. All right, EdTech Mason. Do you want to announce this one? Jamie?
Yeah, do you want me to go ahead and announce it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. EdTech Mason is located in Dallas. He's an incredible presenter, and he's also one of our learning ambassadors, by the way. And he has, wow, 15. What are you, Mason? Are you cheating? I think he's cheating. He has 15,500 points at second place. That's pretty awesome. And what prize is for second place?
Wasn't it a year subscription?
Yeah. Mason's going to be able to hand out an annual subscription out to a friend because he does have already a subscription to Atomic Learning because he is a learning ambassador. So he'll be able to share that with a buddy. And now with all of his trainings that he's doing, I'm pretty sure that he'll have plenty of people to connect with and have a lot of choices to choose from. And
our top prize here is CM Dan Hoff. Well, I went up to GooseChase and I said, hey, I'm doing this presentation for GooseChase. Can you help me out? And they said, sure. So on behalf of GooseChase, I'd like to award you, CM Danhoff, a free game. This game could be used for professional development. I will send you the code so that you can start using it right away. You could tuck it away. You could use it tomorrow, however you like. But it is a free game that you can use, I believe, for up to 50 people.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, yeah, that's good.
I know I'll tell you about GooseChase and my experiences. I love scavenger hunts. As a matter of fact, coming up here in a few weeks at ISTE, we're going to be playing a lot of scavenger hunt games. And I always try to find what's out there for free. I have played GooseChase in the past at conferences, but it's never been this interactive. They've done a really good job. There's lots of great updates. And you did a good job, Alan, of having some awesome questions and ideas to engage the audience. So great job on that. But I will tell you, to get a free prize with GooseChase, that's huge. That I would be all over that. I'm kind of bummed I lost, but maybe we won't find CM Danhoff, you know, I don't know.
I don't know. So I'm going to go back to my presentation. I got a few more minutes, and I'd like to just talk a little bit about different ideas, that how you could use this from a K-5 all the way up to higher ed to professional development. So let's generate some ideas. Like I said earlier, GooseChase does require an account to sign up. K-5, the kids may not be old enough to sign up for an account, but if you send them off on a field trip to the zoo, you can have adults sign in and have that adult be head of a team. And then from that team, go out into the zoo and start solving questions. At this age range, a lot of pictures, a lot of videos would definitely help with the game. Not necessarily a lot of typing yet, but a lot of pictures, a lot of videos. And your questions could be, how many tigers are in a tiger cage? Where do tigers come from? How many bears did you see? To the more advanced, how do you spell arachnid? Take a picture of yourself holding a snake. Take a picture of an alligator. You know, just stuff like that. You got to generate ideas where they want to go out and actually complete the missions. For 6th and 8th graders, this is where you can get a lot of fun, because that's where you can start sending them off with the device and have them participate. And at a science fair, you may have them go out and say, you're the judge of the science fair, go find the #1 science fair project. You can ask them to go to a participant of the science fair and have them explain what they did. You can have them write a review of the overall science fair. For 9-12, let's say you got a club and they raised enough money to go see Hamilton. You can start then talking about, okay, what is the significance of Hamilton pointing up on the album cover of Hamilton? You could talk about why Aaron Burr is considered the villain in this tale. You could talk about, what is, I'm totally forgetting my Hamilton. That's like my son's favorite musical at the moment. Yeah, and then you could toss in some fun things like afterwards, after you go see Hamilton, take a picture with the cast and have that be awarded points. For higher ed, this is a great opportunity for orientation to get your students out into the college community and start interacting with other people. You can have them go meet individuals, take pictures with them, set up specific locations on campus that they can go to, check in, and get points for that. And for professional development team building, definitely get together and put together a team and have them go out and do a scavenger hunt. Have them go out and complete certain tasks together as a team. And then you could see which team is doing better, because as you could see, as we were playing the game, a lot of people were really, really getting competitive. And with that, with those ideas, let me stop screen sharing for a moment. There we go. And with that, that's GooseChase. If you have any questions, you could always give me a holler on Twitter. My handle is Truax Trainer, at Truax Trainer. That's TruaxTraine. Spelling's not my strongest point. Jamie, is there any questions popping in? Are there any questions popping in?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think people are just excited to be a part of it. They were able to get into GooseChase and participate in some of the activities. And I know, looking at where people are coming from and getting access, I want to say there was some people that hopped on early. Is that right? Did people hop on the activity earlier? Okay, so they may have already joined in GooseChase and had a chance to take a bunch of pictures and have a bunch of responses, which helps out significantly. And we also had people just basically having fun. I think this was just a fun time for them to hop on and interact. And there was a couple questions like, what's a password? We were able to get that out. I linked out on the YouTube page on our chat the link to GooseChase so that people can follow up. And you getting started was, now, do you think that this would be something that somebody can start up right away? Or would you say that they would need a lot of prep to really get this going?
It does take some time to prep. You want to make sure you have questions relevant to what you're doing. That was the hardest part of developing GooseChase for Tech Academy and GooseChase for this, is trying to find the questions that people could relate to, people could do remotely because we're not here together. And it does take some time to plan, but once you got it, you can start your game. Yeah. And I'm going to let this go again for another 3 hours.
Yay. Oh, that's
start the game. Awesome. So if you still want to play, you still want to complete it, you can.
Awesome. Well, you know what, Alan, I really appreciate that. It's fun. It was just an active session. We appreciate you bringing in a live game that could be done virtually. I know we have virtual teachers out there that are looking for tools like this to be able to collaborate with their students. So we appreciate you joining in, and thank you so much for sharing your knowledge of GooseChase.
All right, thank you. You're welcome.
All right, guys, it is off to the next crazy awesome session. If you know Claudio Zavala, you've probably seen his sing a song on Twitter. He has been on, let's see, Claudio, you are doing Flipgrid like crazy. You're doing Spark like crazy. There's just so many different things that Claudio has his hands on. But he always does it with excellence. And I think that is why I'm so excited to introduce Claudio. Before he gets started, I just want to remind you, I am putting out the registration link on occasion, just in case you happen to stumble upon this and you haven't registered. Anybody registered will get a 90-day subscription to Hoonuit, and you'll have a chance to go in like these other learning ambassadors and have the exposure to all of the learning for the summer. So pretty cool. Claudio, I'm going to let you take over, and I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself and get started.
All right, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, just making sure you can hear me.
Perfect.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Claudio Zavala, and I am presenting from an undisclosed location. Now, actually, I was moved upstairs because there's a ladies group downstairs doing bunko, which is kind of funny. So I had to move all my gear upstairs, but it still works just fine. So if at any time you have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. And so let's go ahead and get started here. So let me show you my screen here. So we're going to talk about a graphic design hack. So what I've kind of was looking at over the past several weeks, kind of what I want to share. So I thought it would be some give you some kind of ideas and tips on what to do when you are creating graphics to use in your classroom. And I think these will kind of make your images kind of go up to the next level. So when people see them, they're like, wow, how did you do that? So I'm going to go over several tips. I guess I'll call them tips. And then towards the end, I will share some of the apps that I use and some of the tools that I use to create my images. So here we go. I'm going to jump right in here. So here are the tips, the basic tips here. So I'm going to talk about pairing fonts using 2 colors. I'm going to talk about white space, alignment, using background images, consistency with your images, and then maximize copy space. So you might be like, what in the world does all that mean? So what I went ahead is I created some graphics for each of those things to kind of show you what I'm talking about. And so first, let's go ahead and start off with pairing fonts. So when you think of the word pair, you think 2. So it kind of recommend to use at most 2 different fonts when you're on one page. When you're one slide, think of it, you're creating a slide for your classroom presentation. You want to make sure and minimize as many fonts as you're using. Try to keep it down to 2. So pairing fonts. So here's an example. So what I did is I basically took my graphic design hack and I created a little poster for it. So here you see, I'm going to kind of see if you can see my mouse moving there. So here's my title, and then here are this is the matching, or I should say pairing font. Notice how they're 2 different. Instead of going and creating 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different types of fonts, we'll keep it down to 2. This really helps your learner when they're looking at content, really focus on what you're showing them, not trying to figure out the all the different fonts that are on your page. You want to minimize as many fonts that you're using, pare it down to 2. So I'm going to move on. So now the next thing, as you can see there, so repeating, using 2 colors. Now, I like living in a what's that, Technicolor world, so having multiple colors, lots of colors, but sometimes you kind of want to limit the amount of colors you use. So here's an example. This was something I shared a while back on Twitter. I thought, hey, let me share this. If you can see here now, the white background, I'm not going to count that as one of the colors. So when I'm talking about colors, see the font, there's like kind of like a turquoise, bluish color, and then the black underneath. So when you're creating graphics and images or slides that you're using in a Google slide or PowerPoint, some of you who use interactive software like Smart or Promethean, you want to minimize the amount of color that you see on the page. You want to, again, you're thinking about your learner, your student. There's this little, I'll kind of throw in a little information here. So there's this theory called cognitive load theory. So meaning that if you start throwing a bunch of stuff on this page, on your slide, then your learner is trying to figure out what's going on the page and not learning what's on the page. Hope that makes sense. Kind of look down here, see if I see any questions. All right, so moving on. Now, the next thing is white space. So here you see an example, the picture in the background, and there's a bunch of extra distracting, superfluous junk around. So where am I supposed to focus on? So here's where I use a little technique called white space, because I want the learner to center their eyes into the middle. So we got white space. So here's an example. So I took that image, if you see there, and then kind of switched it around. So if you can see now, then you may see all this white space and like, oh, I could add a bunch of extra stuff there. Kind of try to resist that sometimes. Resist adding extra stuff. Sometimes it's just fluff and it doesn't really add anything to what you're trying to convey. All right. Next, we have alignment. And I think you kind of get an idea when you think of in a Word document or a Google Doc, you're aligning your content. You have, there we go, left align, center, and right. Now, which one is the correct one? I'll give you a second to think about it. So which one is the correct one? Really, there is no correct one. Whichever one fits the whole entire presentation. So if you start to go left align, kind of be consistent and use left align for the rest of your presentation. If you go center, keep it centered, and left as well. All right, so let's kind of go a little back here. So we got pairing fonts, we got 2 colors, We have white space. Now we're talking about alignment. Now, the next little tip to use is thinking about using a background image for your background. So I think we are used to, when we get to a Google slide, PowerPoint, any type of presentation, we usually go with the white background, which is great to use. You know, that's awesome right there. But try to, you know, sometimes be a little creative, be a little risky, and use an image you can see there for my background. So this one says summer engaging tools. Now, when you're using an image for your background, you want to have something that relates to what you're talking about. So for example, if I would doing a presentation on sharks, I'm not going to put a picture of wolves in the background. So I think that just kind of makes sense there. So use an image in the background. Then we got a couple more here. Consistency. So I'm going to plug my the sing-a-song. Jamie was talking about this a little bit earlier. So if you've not jumped on to Twitter, jump on there and hashtag sing-a-song. So consistency. So here's what I'm talking about, consistency. So this was like one of my one of the week's sing-a-song theme. It was disco. This week it's open mic. A couple of weeks back we had 80s music, and then it was a guilty pleasure song. So if you notice, kind of, do you see a consistency with my images here? It's one of those things I've kind of tempted to change it up, but I think people have gotten used to seeing these images like this over the span of these 11 weeks of sing-a-song. So I like it. I'm going to stick with it. So think about when you're creating a presentation, you want to kind of maintain a consistency. So in each presentation, you can always change it in a different presentation, but you want to maintain it. As one of those things is, if I all of a sudden change it, people may miss it because they're kind of looking for that style. So, which is okay. And then the last tip here, maximize copy space. So what in the world does that mean? So here's a picture that I took. There's a little creek right down here by my house, and go riding every once in a while. So I took this picture, and so maximize the space. So if you notice, so I'm going to kind of outline the trees right here. And I thought this is a perfect, I can use this. I added this go outdoors to explore. And originally, I'm going to just kind of confess here, originally I had all this text over here in the corner. So I kind of had to change the color. And I thought, well, you know what, this is a good example. So maximize space. Sometimes you may want to stretch out the image. You may want to shrink it down to make it fit, just depending on what you're using. So imagine a valley with two mountains on each side, and you have like a nice blue sky in between. That would be a nice little place to add some text there. The ocean, two islands, think about that as well. So, all right, so a quick recap here, and then we're going to jump into the apps. I hope I didn't go through this quick, but I can share this with you all as well. So, pair fonts, trying to stay within two colors. Think about using white space. Consider your alignment. Try to venture into using a background image. Maintain a consistent flow for your images. You can kind of maybe make it thematic. And then using space, maximize copy space. So we have this here. So now here are some apps that I like using here. So I think people sometimes may get tired of me saying this, but I love Adobe Spark Post. It's such an easy app to use. And what I'm going to do here, let's see if I can jump here. Boom. All right. So I'm going to jump right into my Spark Post. And I have my notifications on. So here's my Adobe Spark Post. And I'm going to go ahead and jump into one of the ones I've already made here. But let's go with this one here. Let me go and edit. So I'll kind of show you kind of what I was talking about a little bit earlier. So notice how I can manipulate that image there. I can shrink it down, make it larger. But notice now I have like the little creek missing. That was kind of the whole point of this picture. Let's kind of get that creek in there. There we go. So now let's jump back. Let's go look at this one here. So here we have, oh, what happened to my background? There it is. So we have center line, right alignment, left. And this one's a different center alignment where it doesn't make the text larger. And let's see here. Let's go through. Let me show you my sing-a-song one. So let's talk about, remember we talked about color a little bit earlier. So let's change some of this color out. Sticking with 2 colors. So again, some of the colors will fit. Like that was not too bad. And that one either. So I may stick with that. Let's see what else. Let's look at this one. Graphic design hack. Okay. Now, noticing it's not showing for y'all. Oh. Hold on. All this time it was on the wrong screen there. Let's see here. Oh. All right. I think I was talking the whole time and you weren't seeing anything. So sorry for that. Okay, that's no problem because we can jump right into the app itself here.
Hey, Claudia, we were able to see you, so it all looks great.
What's that?
We were able to see everything you were doing. So
oh, okay, you were able to see the, for some reason, it didn't look like you were able to see, I was able to see my screen. Okay, so let's jump back over here. All right, sorry about that. Okay, so here we have, so let me kind of show you what I was talking about using fonts. So here is pairing fonts. There's 2, but now let's do this. I'm going to break my rule.
Oh, you know what? Right now we're seeing one screen, but we don't see your screen, I don't think.
Take a look at that. So really, now it kind of detracts from what's going on with the image. I don't like that cursive at the bottom. So let's go back to the original.
Hey, Claudio.
There we go. So that is kind of a peek at Spark Post.
Hey, Claudio.
I think I hear somebody talking.
Yes, that's me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We are not able to see your screen right now. It looks like it's on the insights for spark.adobe.com.
Okay.
Now we see your screen. I think the screen you were showing was a different active screen.
So you can you see that now?
No. If you want to drag it or minimize that page.
There we go. We'll fix it here. Sorry about that.
No problem. It's easiest to show from the website, but I know like right now it's a little bit frozen on your screen.
There we go. Let's try this. How's that?
I don't see your screen's frozen. Maybe try to open it up in Chrome. Are you on? Oh, there we go. We see. Mm-hmm.
All right. So for some reason, you can't see my iPhone. Can you see it now?
We can't see your iPhone. Try to minimize your browser and let's see if we can see that now. Nope, it's just showing your desktop, but it's not showing your
okay. All right, that's fine. We can skip that there.
All right.
I'm going to jump back to. So, well, I'll just talk about it from within here.
Perfect. Thank you, Claudio.
No problem. No problem. All right. Did I go over my time now?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay. So as I was talking about Adobe Spark, Post, I think I was kind of talking the whole time and you weren't able to see anything that was happening. So again, I'll just do one quick example here. So this was the one I was talking about. This is one of the sing-a-song examples. So here we have the two colors. Remember earlier I mentioned two colors and then pairing the fonts. So here is the double example of that. So let's look at color. So now I'm back to the original. Now it's just using plain white on both. You'll kind of have to play through. That one doesn't look too bad. So that is kind of a quick look at, a super quick look, because I kind of went over previously with, I thought I was showing you the screen, but it'll be fine. So now let's look at Adobe Photoshop Mix. So I'll kind of just talk about what Adobe Photoshop Mix does. This is an app you can download for the Android and the iOS device. And what you can do is basically get the power of Photoshop that you would work on a computer and do it on your phone. Notice this picture right here. And there's a lady in a teacup with a tile in the background. Basically, you can take multiple images and blend them together. Again, I wish I could show you on my phone, but it's for some reason not showing here. So these are two apps that I can use a lot on my mobile device. Now, some of these other things I'm going to share with you are some tools that I like to use. So I can show you this really quick here. And tell me, so this right here is a little device called the Beast Grip. Now, I'm a tech geek, so I tend to buy a lot of little gadgets. But most of the pictures that you've seen here that I've taken with this little tool. So basically, I'll drop in my phone right here. And what it does, it gives me a nice wide angle view from the lens. So there's my phone now. So I use this. This is one of my little hacks that I use. Now, I don't recommend for everyone to go out and buy one, but if you are interested, and I'm not getting any little kickback from them, but this is the company. They're called Beast Grip. And right now they're having a little Kickstarter campaign because they created another cool tool that's like, oh, why you guys need to stop creating all these things because then I want to buy them. And then one of the apps, this is the app that I use to take all my pictures. The mobile device, the iOS here, comes with its own camera app. Some of the newer phones like the 7 is really great. I don't have it yet. So I use this app. Now, it's not free. So if you see there, it's $1.99. But if you are thinking of getting an app and you're not sure what to use, I highly recommend Camera Plus. It's probably one of the better ones out there. I've purchased several and I've stuck with this one. This is probably one of the better ones. It's available for your iPad as well. I'm not sure on Android if it's available or not. But this one gives you the power of a full DSLR camera, like one of those really super expensive ones. And it gives it to you right on your mobile device. And with that, so we're looking at my time here. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try. I'm afraid to try to go back. I think I'll just stick with coming here. So Jamie, were there any questions that anybody had asked during the presentation?
Right now people initially were just wanting to see your screen to make sure that they were wanting to pick up. And I think it is a little bit challenging screen sharing sometimes. But one of the things that I am curious about as you're talking about all these different tools is what is the cost? So as far as apps and the cost and And I love the adapter that you have for your phone to be able to turn it into a high quality image.
Yes.
And some of those tools. So maybe you can give us a little bit of feedback on like, what is the cost? What would you think is a good cost for these types of products?
Okay, so there's several other little tools that I use that I've bought along the way. This is the one that I use the most. It's been the best one in my opinion. I'm just jumping to their website here so you kind of see. They're really taking a lot of these super advanced tools that you would see on these high-end cameras, because your phones, both Android and Apple and whatever's out there, the cameras that are coming in here are so advanced now that some of them rival some of these, like I mentioned earlier, high-end cameras. I have a DSLR camera, which is a digital camera that has the full-on lens, and I used to take that with me when we'd go to trips. We'd just go hang out, go somewhere. I would take that. This is what I take with me now. I really, it's kind of funny. I do take senior pictures here every once in a while, and I haven't gone to this yet, just because I'm really close to doing it. Jump and just go. I'm just going to use this. Price wise, so this kit right here, you can spend anywhere from $150 to they can go up to $300 for something like this. And again, this is looking at the higher end. You can get let me just kind of show you some pictures here. You can get a little microphone. This little microphone is about $30–40. So you can sit and record and capture sound from further away. And if you notice right here, it's using a lens that you would use on an actual high-end camera. You could adapt that to fit onto your mobile device, wow, which adds just an immense quality to the pictures. Then people have a hard time. This company has done a comparison with videos taken with the iPhone and videos taken with a $10,000 camera, and throwing them on the web, and people have had a hard time telling them apart. And that's super amazing. So that's kind of what it looks like right there.
And one of the questions that have come in that I think is a great question, because I want to know, it looks like a lot of your stuff is done maybe inside of Adobe Spark on a page. Is that correct?
On the presentation that I made, this one here?
Uh-huh.
Yes. So this presentation I created using Adobe Spark page. That's what I've come to do now. Is I was using Google Slides. I've abandoned PowerPoint many years ago. And then I was using Keynote for so long too, and I've stopped using it. But when I present on Adobe Spark and almost everything, I just create a page for it. Mm-hmm. Then it's a web page, and I can share that link with anyone. And I just it's simple. You can drop whatever you want, images, text, video, and it's all in one spot. It's really easy to put together.
Is there an easy link that we can get from you to have this available to us?
Yes. So where would be a good spot to share that? Just drop it in.
Well, yeah, if you want to go to into YouTube.
All right. Let's make this a little smaller here.
And I don't know if you've already checked out our YouTube page, or you can just put it out on Twitter if you want, and I'll repost it in here in the chat. That way we can all get it, from the outside as well, and have the resources.
Absolutely.
I think some of the things that you were talking about, even just how to set up your image. I mean, nobody's ever went through that. With educators, we, especially using social media, we're constantly making graphics. And to have somebody actually walk through, explain some of the important features that you need to have inside of your image, that was very, very helpful for me. I really appreciated that piece.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I'm always not sure how someone will take this, but yeah, I was hoping, because at some point someone shared that with me. I started learning about this, and I said, you know what, this is great, especially you're thinking about students on the other end. parents who are going to be reading this as well, your websites, your images, you want to make them legible, want to make it less busy for the person to read, to learn from it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. That's awesome.
So what I'll do is right after, I'll drop it in Twitter, and I'll also drop it into YouTube there. I have it on another window.
Perfect. I know you're juggling a million things. There is one other question from Michael. What tool do you use to create the faces on the graphic for the man on the street, kid on the street, Flipgrid post? That looks awesome.
Let's see, the Flipgrid post for the sing-a-song on Flipgrid?
No, for man in the street and kid in the street for ISTE.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Not that one there. Let me jump here. I think I know what you're talking about. I want to look at it. Here we go.
So it's the one with you and Curran.
Curran, okay. So I didn't make Curran's. I think, was that you, Jamie? No. Yeah.
It was. Yeah,
awesome.
actually.
Wow.
Well, what I did is for the graphic for the ISTE, man in the street, kid in the street, what you guys are doing with Flipgrid,
yes.
Is I use Canva. I use Canva a lot because it gives me such a great quality photo. Sometimes when I'm downloading from other sites, the resolution might not be as well. So I do like Canva for that reason. And I always use my own graphics in there, so I never pay for the product. You, Claudio, had an awesome graphic with your own image. And then we took a photo from Curran, and I just played around with it, kind of cartoonized it, and then added it to it and gave that information all in Canva. Great question, Michael.
So it's the one my profile with my my ball cap on.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So that one I made that about 4 years ago. Here, this is kind of similar. It kind of looks like this.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I made that about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, using Adobe Illustrator. So that was using it on my desktop. I created it. I had a picture of myself that I took. I took a self-portrait, and then I dropped it in and I traced it, which now, I'm going to kind of, I'll drop in another app, which is Adobe Draw.
Nice.
Adobe Draw. So I'm going to show you here. I drew that. That's Uncle Sam.
Wow.
With Adobe Draw. And then some of you might have seen some of my superhero drawings that I created. I created those using Adobe Draw. So, I mean, really, this little thing is, they say nowadays that this is basically more computer than when they sent the man to the moon back 30 years ago. So,
that's pretty awesome. Claudio, you did a fantastic job. Thank you.
I apologize for that little mix up with the screen, but
no, I know it
feel free to
happens.
send me a message.
But please do share your resources on Twitter, and I'll make sure to post it also on YouTube so everyone has access to it. And I'm super excited to introduce Courtney with us tonight. She is, the first time I got a chance to talk to Courtney, it was on a video chat. And I remember leaving that video chat saying, wow, she's incredible. I cannot wait to get to know Courtney more. So Courtney, I definitely want to give you a chance to introduce yourself, but I'm just real quick to share with everybody, if you happen to just stumble upon this Hoonuit Live tonight and you haven't registered, it is posted on the chat. So feel free to hop on, and Courtney, take it away.
Oh my gosh, can you all hear me? Am I live?
You're
I live? I feel like Oprah. Am I live? Okay, I am Courtney. I'm going to share my screen with you all, and let me know if you are able to see it. Okay, I think we're live here. All right, once again, I'm Courtney L. Teague. I live in Metro Atlanta, Georgia, where I am a technology training evangelist. I call myself an evangelist. Other people may just call me a technology integration specialist. I love technology. So today I'm going to talk to you about social media, using social media to grow your PLN. And of course, this is a little photo of myself. As of last week, I no longer have braces. But yeah, that was a little picture of myself. All right, and so I just want you all to know that I'll be showing my slides using Google Slides. I will not go into full presentation mode because I'll be toggling in between different web pages. But by the end of this webinar, you will be a social media super ninja. Which teacher are you? If you're a teacher, I want you to answer this question. Are you the typical teacher who has this type of network? You only focus on curriculum documents, colleagues, popular media, print, and digital resources, and just family and local community. That's your network. That's who you reach out to when you need ideas. That's it. Or are you that network teacher? You are all over the place. You may look like you're grasping for straws to some people, but you're actually all over the place getting ideas, and you're becoming empowered by your environment. And your environment is not entrapped inside of four walls. So I want you to grab your cell phone and take the PLN oath with me. Are you ready? All right, let's go. I, Courtney L. Teague, do solemnly affirm that I shall faithfully contribute to my PLN and engage in meaningful dialogue using my social media platform. Did you say it? All right. Claudia, don't get me here. I have a lot of words on the screen, but I wanted to just make sure you get the full picture. This is social media explained with lesson plans. We're going to use Twitter. If you're going to explain lesson plans using Twitter, you'll just say, I like #lesson plan. Facebook, I am planning lessons. Foursquare, this is where I plan lessons. Instagram, here is a vintage photo of me planning lessons. YouTube, here is my how-to guide to planning lessons. LinkedIn, my skills include planning lessons. Paperly, read about different ways to plan lessons. Pinterest, here's the recipes of food that make me happy while planning lessons. So, why do you use lesson plans? It's very simple. Obvious to you is amazing to others. What you may think is really basic is super awesome to other people. So whatever you know, you need to share it out, because remember, we are all responsible for teaching our students. We are all responsible. So if you know a great strategy, share it out on Twitter. Dominique Wilkins said, you are only as good as your team. So, how many languages do you need to know to communicate with the rest of the world using social media? Just one, your own, and with a little help from your smartphone. If you see this tweet, I hope you see it. I actually went on Twitter and I did a quick MIE expert EdTech hashtag search, and I saw a couple tweets come up in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but my cell phone, I have Google Translator app on my cell phone. So therefore I went and copied that tweet, and I just wanted to know what she said. And I saw the English translation and I replied back in English. But now I have a person that's in my network now. Even though we don't speak the same language, we're still able to tweet back and forth to each other. So the Google Translate app can repeat anything you say in up to 90 languages, from German and Japanese to Zulu. So therefore you have no excuse to have a large network. Here's another tweet. I actually went on Twitter and did a hashtag search. I did a hashtag search for PLN, and I came across Tracy Allen. She's a principal. Never met her a day in my life. I saw her tweet. I tweeted her. I said, can I use your tweet in my presentation on using social media to grow your PLN? And I hashtag Hoonuit. And she replied back, absolutely. Please share and show the power of connection. Hashtag PLN, hashtag mom is principal, hashtag principals in action. Just that quick. Tracy is now part of my PLN. So with Twitter, you can do Twitter chats. You can actually do hashtag searches, which is, I mean, it's really phenomenal. And if you don't have an idea of where to find information in regards to your Twitter chat, let me get to my screen and I'll show you in 1 second. Give me a moment. And I'll share these links out, but here is a listing of Twitter chats all around the world that are related to education. You have no excuse. We have no excuse to be connected. And they're even, if you look over here, you have the time zones. So if you're Eastern time, Central, Pacific, you just click on it and you could join in on those Twitter chats. All you need is the hashtag and to know the time. All right. Here's something else. I want you to say it with me. Pay per Lee. I'll say it again. This app is called Pay per Lee. For the longest time, I used to just screw this name up. I used to call it Paper LI or Paperly, but it's Pay per Lee, like pay-per-view, but Pay per Lee. And what Pay per Lee is actually a newspaper that is generated based on social media hashtags. It's really easy to create. This is one of my newspapers, and it's based on educational technology and gamification. So those are all the hashtags that I use within this application. It's free. I mean, why not use it? Free is always great, right? Especially when we're on that school teacher budget. But this is what I use, and it pulls each day. It pulls different articles from all over the world that use this hashtag. Use those hashtags, EdTech and technology, whatever hashtags I use, but it's real simple to make. And you can even set this application on automatic to tweet. Once your newspaper will get all of that information, get all of those articles and just put it in one place. You can tweet this out, and this is your contribution to social media, to your PLN. Of course, you have advertisements on here because it's free, but hey, I can deal with it. And this is how I actually stay in the loop. All right, let's move right along. LinkedIn. Oh my gosh. LinkedIn is the gold standard in professional networking. It is, I call it the Facebook for grown people. With LinkedIn, you can just go inside, set up your account, of course, but this is how you can connect with other influencers in like industries. I even go and I peek in and read different articles on business and see how I can apply those business strategies in education. So here, this is my LinkedIn page, and I have interests. You can see to the right here, these are the people that I'm following. Here, these are companies that I follow. Right here to the right is schools. Those are schools that I attended, but this also lets you know how many followers that are following that school as well. Then I belong to different groups. Look at my groups that I belong to. I just want you to see the amount of people that are in these groups. So I guarantee you, if you have a question and you're a member of a group, all you have to do is just go in that group and ask it. I guarantee someone will answer it. And you don't have to think about just asking a blind question. These people have like minds.
Courtney, I have a quick question for you, if this is okay.
Yeah.
We had a question come in from Mason asking, is Paperly only a web app?
Well, I only use it as web-based. I haven't seen the download for your cell phone yet.
Okay. Awesome.
But it is web responsive. So actually when web pages are web responsive, it really doesn't matter if you have an app or not because it works everywhere. So it is web responsive.
Perfect. Thank you so
Any
much.
other questions?
So far, I'll stop you if there are, if that's all right.
All right. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so going back to just looking at the groups, you saw how many people that belong to the groups. I mean, just imagine who you may meet in the group. And also you do have the option to write articles within LinkedIn. And I haven't written an article in a little while on LinkedIn, but it shows you how many people clicked. Those are people I don't know that clicked on that article. So that hopefully it empowered them. But these are posts I've written on LinkedIn. And I mean, I'm publishing and I'm contributing. So how awesome is that? And even going back to just sharing on LinkedIn, you share an article, you can just share anything and other people will see it. So here are a couple of things that I've shared and you can see the views, you can see people that have commented on the things that I've shared. Of course, you see Who Knew It Live because I shared it on with my PLN. All right. And of course, LinkedIn is free and it does have a premium option. I believe in free because I told you I'm on the school teacher's budget. All right, let's move on. Facebook. Facebook is the way I actually earned my doctorate. I don't think that if I wasn't a part of this Facebook group, Call Me Doc and Nova's Facebook group, Nova University, I don't think I actually would have finished school. I probably would have dropped out. Within Facebook, you actually have different groups. And right now I'm already just queued, but I searched a group, Educational Technology. I just clicked on related tags and I see different groups of people that are on Facebook that I can join. And there are a lot of people in there that I can network with. So even if you want to look into technology, I would search that tag of technology and just see which other groups I could join. All right, let's look at education. So we have all of these tools. I mean, they're just there. We can use them to empower each other and just be empowered. And of course, I mentioned the doctoral group that I was a part of for Nova. We shared quotes. We are always empowered and just pushed each other to go to the next level. And you can see here, this group is open to Nova Southeastern doctoral students only. So of course I'm sharing this screenshot with you, but I got permission and it could be private and it was a study group. So you don't have to worry about if you're going back to school, getting your degree, you don't have anyone to talk to, join groups, all right? And you may say, you know, well, I have all of these different social media platforms. I feel that I know a lot. I feel that other people should listen to me. There is an app called Clout. And what Clout is it tells people that this person really knows their content. And with Clout, it's a free application. And what you do within Clout, you actually connect your social media platforms to it and it measures. I see I dropped a few points, but it's okay. And Clout gives you a score. And here, if you scroll down, it shows you expert topics, mainly on all of my social media platforms. These are the topics that I talk about: education, teaching, Atlanta, education, technology, and Georgia. Those are the main topics that I talk about on all of my social media platforms. Facebook, if you look over to the right, it actually gives you network contribution. It shows you Twitter and LinkedIn. My Facebook, I disconnected my Facebook from here, but you can see a lot of my contributions are, it's connected to my Twitter. 82% of my content in which I share is connected to my Twitter. So if we go back to expert topics and we click on education, let's see what happens here. Let's see, it shows that I'm an education expert. And it actually connects me with other like resources and people. So here are different resources. So this is Cloud. And as I said before, Cloud is totally free. They do have a paid version, but I'm all for the free. And you can even schedule, and I don't want to go into that, but you can schedule your tweets and your social media posts using Cloud as well. All right. And one thing I did want to share with you all in regards, let me close this out. Hootsuite. You have all of these social media platforms and you don't have time to schedule tweets. You don't have time to schedule Facebook posts or Instagram posts or even LinkedIn posts. Or you may want to do hashtag searches and just follow and see what everyone is discussing. If you go, I have different streams set up on my page right now. I have EdTech, I have Hoonuit, Hoonuit Live. If I were to refresh this stream, I could see what people are saying about Hoonuit Live. And I can reply back. It's just easier. It's a consolidated place. All right. Let's scroll down. I see Joy. Hey, Joy. She made a comment. And I see all of these people, and this is the wonderful thing about Hootsuite. You can see everything online in regards if you have your keywords set up and your streams set up, and you can add multiple streams. So more than 2.34 billion people are active social media users. That's a lot of folks. Maybe like the population of Texas and California multiplied plenty of times. So that means you should always be a lifelong learner because there is someone out there to help you. So if you have a problem with anything in your classroom, any tech questions, you always have someone out there to support you. Wherever there's a problem, the solution to the problem is a person. So once again, you have over 234 billion people out there to support you. So you have homework, and yes, I'm giving you homework. You can follow me and tweet me at CourtneyLT, and I want you to search Hoonuit and the Hoonuit Live hashtag and follow everyone that uses it. I want you to expand that PLN. Remember, you're only as good as your team. I'm paraphrasing, but you're only as good as your team. So I would like to open it up for any questions or any dialogue. Do I have any questions, Jamie?
All right, I'm going to check it out right now.
All right.
I'm using some social media right now. I'm running over to Twitter, posting things. I'm coming over and taking some snapshots of what you're sharing. I am going over to the dashboard here in YouTube to look at some of the statistics. Putting out tweets both from Atomic Learning and Jamie Donnelly, and connecting with everybody on the hashtag Hoonuit Live. And so there's lots going on. And we do have a question from Dominique.
Yes.
She asked, do you have to be, let's see, the doctoral program that you're in, do you have to go to school at Nova in order to be a part of it?
A part of that group, yes. We have people, because I finished from there, we have administrators in our Facebook group that actually verify that you're enrolled. So with our groups, there are secret groups and study groups and other groups in which I belong to, we actually have someone to verify. So if you were to send a request, they'll probably ask you a series of questions, and then they will verify whether or not you're enrolled in our program. Well, the program that I finished from.
So that's kind of a bummer because, you know, you're teasing us right now that we can't join in.
No, it's not a bummer because remember, all you have to do is go into Facebook and search groups. And although you may not be able to join that group, I just shared that with you as an example. There are a multitude of other groups that you can join that are interest-based.
I do have a question for you on social media that I feel like I go through too, and a lot of educators, you know, we want to keep a professional appearance on social media, that it's not supposed to be a personal, you're not going in there and sharing religious beliefs or political stance. You try to keep it very professional, whatever you're doing on social media as an educator. But do you have spaces that are very private, like that is your personal space to connect with friends and family?
Well, I'm going to be honest, Jamie, and I will say this because I went and I studied social media too. Whatever you put online is not private. And in regards to my beliefs and who I am, I'm Courtney all over. So in the beginning, I used to have this Twitter account, that Facebook account. It became too much to manage. And I said, you know what? This is who I am. You're going to love me regardless. If you don't love me, you're going to at least like me. But at the end of the day, whatever you put out there, remember, someone can always screenshot. Someone will always be offended by what you say or do. So it's one of those situations that you just go for it and deal with the consequences. Because yes, I know you may be told to keep your Twitter private, but remember, there's no such thing as private when it comes to social media. And even when you can just go deeper with social media policy, like I just recently helped someone write a policy for their company, and they basically said that they didn't want that person to have a social media account, but that person had a pre-existing, and it can go legal really quick. So I mean, it's just really up to you, and if you're willing to deal with the consequences.
I think that's a very valid question in this, because trying to challenge teachers to be part of social media that has never taken that leap, it's really hard to convince them of the benefits if they've never experienced it for themselves. All they see is the risk. And there are risks out there. And I think that there's always opportunity for somebody to say or do something that's offensive, and you want to disconnect. I do try to keep my Facebook, my personal Facebook. I try not to make that about my profession. I try to connect with people. I try to connect through my other social media avenues as a professional means of sharing ed tech. I keep it focused on ed tech essentially. But I am, just like you said, my worlds are colliding. And it's like, oh boy, I don't know how I feel about this, because I'm connecting with friends and family, and how all of that line gets drawn. And I think it is something that is important to evaluate for sure.
Yeah, you really have to just sit down and think about it, because it's suppose, example, you're at a job and they tell you, hey, you need to do X, Y, and Z. But if you had that pre-existing PLN in that community, you're drawn from point A to point B. What do you do?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. Well, and not only that, I think it's worth the risk. And people that haven't experienced the benefits, I can see why they would be hesitant, but it doesn't take very long to realize that you, like you said, you have so many people out there that want to support you, and to focus on the few that don't is crazy, but to be smart, just like anything that you do out in the public. I mean, we're being evaluated for sure, just in the educational realm, period.
Of course.
Yeah. So no matter whether it be on social media or just being out in the public, you're smart,
And what I say, Jamie, I said this, I always say, whatever I tweet, I run the risk of my mom seeing it. So I try not to post anything that will embarrass her, because she will send me a text message with a whole bunch of emojis that probably are not related to the text, but she'll send them expressing herself.
That's awesome. Yeah, we got to keep our moms in mind.
Yeah, just keep your mom and your grandma in mind. If you wouldn't say it in front of them, don't you say it in 140 characters or a cute little infographic.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the opposite. I'm like, Mom, what did you post? Oh my God.
I agree. I spent a week with my mom last week, and I said, Mom, everything that you receive on Facebook does not mean, and that goes into digital citizenship, a whole nother webinar. Everything you receive does not need to be posted. So you don't have to post everything that you receive. And you don't have to share everything.
Is there any way that we can have access to all of these resources? I know you mentioned a few on there that I have never heard about before. So I would love to go back and check it out.
I'll tweet it out, and I'll tweet it out tonight, and I'll actually turn the presentation into a PDF and tweet the link out to the presentation, and you should be able to click on those links there. But Paperly is a really great resource. That's how I stay just afloat in regards to staying on what's going on in technology and in education. So I have a couple of newspapers that are related to different topics.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Courtney.
Thank you.
You are so talented, and I just remember our first conversation. I was talking to you about how many people show up on our blog so that, you can get recognized for what you bring to the table. And you were asking some questions that I couldn't answer. So I knew this person.
It's okay. We're all learning together. I'm a part of your PLN. That's the point. See people? That's the point of having people in your PLN.
Oh boy. Let me tell you that we appreciate you, Courtney. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you too.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys, we are ready to move on to a presentation with Amy Storer. Before I bring Amy on board, so Amy's like, oh, all right, I'm ready to go. I'm going to push pause just real quick because inside of YouTube, you guys have been asking questions, you guys have been interacting. You'll have access to this in the future again, and the resources that are being discussed. But if you have not registered yet, you have an opportunity to get a 90-day subscription from Hoonuit. So you can go back in, and all the learning we're doing today is all these topics are available there. So you can continue learning on your own, at your own pace, and at your own time. So we want to make sure you get that. If you have not registered, I'll make sure to put that link back in here. And I don't want to keep this incredible time ahead with Amy. I'm super excited. So Amy, if you want to go ahead and get on your video, yay. All right, and we'll check out your audio.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can. All right. I'm just going to briefly I'll let you introduce yourself more in depth. Amy is a great friend. She is super knowledgeable, and she is an incredible person. She brings passion and love for ed tech and love for people into social media and connecting with others all the time. So Amy, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself. I'll watch for any questions happening on YouTube, and I'm going to be in the background here.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share let me introduce myself first. Amy Storer. I am an instructional coach in Montgomery, Texas. I'm also a technology integration mentor for our district. And tonight I'm going to share with you a new tool to me that I can't get enough of, and it's called Flipgrid. So let me make sure I can share my screen. I want to share this one. All right. So here, it's called I'm Flipping Out. It's the best thing ever. Here is a link to the, I hope my connection's still okay. A link to my presentation. So jot that down real quick if you want to, or take a picture of it, but that's yours. So you can access this presentation. Give you about a minute or so to get that taken care of. Let me know or let Jamie know if the link doesn't work. All right, on to the next slide. So here is some of my contact information. You can reach me on Twitter. I also have a Facebook and Instagram page, same names. And then that's my email account and also my blog if you want to check that out. All right, so here's the plan for tonight. So my plan is to talk to you a little bit about Flipgrid and how it has affected me as an educator, and then help walk you through the steps on creating your first grid to get you started. And then I'm going to give you a challenge at the end that I hope that you accept and take. All right, so let's start with this really cool quote from Albert Einstein. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. One of the many reasons why I love Flipgrid is it gives teachers and students a space to reflect and question and to connect with others. It's been such a powerful tool for me as an educator, and I know all the possibilities it has for classroom teachers. Such a cool thing. So what is Flipgrid? If you're new to Flipgrid, here's a great summary of Flipgrid. So Flipgrid is a video discussion community for your classroom that supercharges your students' voices. You add the topics, your students respond with short videos, and everyone engages. If you think about our kids today, most of our kids are on Snapchat, they're on Instagram, they're making live videos, they're snapping stories, and even Instagram has stories now. So Flipgrid is a great way that's relatable to our students, especially our kids who just love to be on video. And I'll share some app smashing ways for those like myself who aren't always comfortable on video, especially singing. That'll make more sense in a little bit. I'll share an app with you that helps with that. So if you click on this, it's going to take you to a web page. And this gives you a little bit more information on Flipgrid. Slowly but surely. All right, so it gives you some more information on Flipgrid. When you click that, it takes you to their site, and we'll talk about setting up your free account. Actually, this is a PDF, a little bit more detailed PDF about Flipgrid. All right, let me minimize that and go to our next screen. So what inspired me that led to my hashtag Flipgrid fever? So the first thing that inspired me was Claudio. Some of you may have seen him earlier. He did a session on, I think, Adobe Spark. And so he started this thing called hashtag Monday Motivation. Jamie Donnelly, who's here tonight, called me out. And so I had to sing a song on camera, which was way out of my comfort zone. But I did it because taking risks for our kids, modeling what that looks like, is so important. So I took the leap. So Sing a Song started as, like I said, hashtag Monday Motivation, and it's evolved into now, I think this week is the 11th week, and has different themes like Disney, disco, and all you do is you go to his, the Flipgrid for this account, and you add a response, and you can add a snapshot of your picture, and it's easy, just like that. It's so cool. So this inspired me because I started thinking of all the different ways I could use it as an instructional coach, how classroom teachers could use it with their students, and the ideas were flowing. I couldn't get enough of it. Another thing that inspired me is this is taking place tonight. This is called VedChat. So if you go to vedchat.com, you can join the conversation. This is last week's topic. This week is about wrapping up the school year. And if you go to that site, vedchat.com, you can respond to questions. Pretty cool experience. So meaningful integration. It's important. And what I mean by meaningful is not using tech for tech's sake. You always want to start with the learning. Always start with the learning and then find a tool that will elevate or enhance that experience for the kids, truly change that experience. So if you click on here, it's going to take you to the Integration Center for Flipgrid, which is a very cool place to go to get support on how can you integrate this into a K-12 math classroom or computer science or language arts, you name it. All of these hyperlink to ideas on how you can integrate Flipgrid meaningfully into your classroom. So great stuff. So check that out when you have some time. So two places that I've seen meaningful integration of Flipgrid is this first one right here. And this does also hyperlink to their website, Voices for the Global Goals. So recently, these two girls added a grid. Let me get to the question so I don't misquote it. Life below water. And so people, over 100 people, have added their global voice to this on how we can achieve and how we can make a difference. So this one said, wherever you live, we'd like to know what role our oceans play in your life and what could you do to make a difference. So if you look here, you've got all these responses, but look, they're responses from kids. The majority of the responses listed here are from students sharing their voice on the role that oceans play in our lives. So how powerful is that? Super, super powerful. Another one, this is by Bronwyn Joyce, and it's the What If, and it's gotten a huge response, even with some help from Mr. Matt Murray himself, the guru of the book of What If. So another place where you can go and you can share, and these are awesome because what if, she has one right now, what if you could choose the next week's What If? Like right now she's got, what if you're in charge of your own country? What if there were floating cities? What if you could what will you do to make a difference? All these really cool questions to get the minds really thinking, especially for our students. All right, so instructions for use. So I'm going to walk you through this to show you how you can set up an account, and then talk to you a little bit about app smashing. So I'm going to open up, I'm going to go into Firefox. Okay, so you want to go, and Jamie, let me know if you can't see my screen anymore.
All right, I see instructions for use. Is that what we should be looking at?
Let me share. This one. All right. So here is the Flipgrid website. So you're going to come down here where it says create your free account. Now you can also use, if you're setting this up with me right now, you can also use my promo code to get Flipgrid Classroom for a little bit. And my promo code is Amy Store, all one word. So I'm going to set up an account real quick so I can show you how awesome this tool is. I'm just going to stick with free right now. Let's do elementary. Here's my school, Montgomery ISD. And I'm going to click create my grid. Done. And for some reason, and this may just be me, but I have more success with viewing and watching the videos on Firefox. All right, so new grid. So what it is when you come here is you have a grid and you can add different topics to this grid. Even with your free account, you can add multiple topics. So I'm going to click on new grid.
Hey, Amy.
Hi.
Hi, sorry to interrupt you, but we had a really great question come in.
Okay, I hope I can answer it.
I know, because it's just such a new tool and there's so many features. First question was, is Flipgrid free? And maybe you can explain, well, what account do you have? Do you have the free account or do you have a paid account?
I have the paid account. I'm a Flipgrid ambassador, but they do have a free account where you can create you have one grid, but you can create multiple topics within that grid. And I used a free account prior to that one, and it was a good account. So yes, there is a free version.
Perfect. And is one of the questions that was asked, like, how do we find those different grids like Claudio's Sing-a-Song? How do you go about finding those different grids in order to interact with them?
Great question. The best place to find all of these awesome grids is Twitter. Go to Twitter and in the search bar, type in #FlipGridFever, and anything anyone's posted relating to, or just even use the handle Flipgrid. You'll find anything that someone's posted on social media, Flipgrid retweets, shares the love daily for Flipgrid.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so we're going to call this sample grid just for today. So you'll give the grid a name, and then there is a grid code. You can customize that. Then you've got some options here for security and privacy. It's completely, it's user choice. You can set up password protection. You can moderate responses, which some teachers do use when their students are responding so they can approve them prior to them going live. You can select a background cover. Let's choose that one because that's inviting for summer, right? And then you click Create Grid. All right, so once your grid is ready, you have to start adding topics to the grid. So when you click here, I'm going to click New Topic. So my grid could have said Miss Store's class. And then my first topic, let's say, how is your summer going so far? So that's my title of my first topic. And then over here, you've got some response time choices. which looks like if you have the free version, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds. It's a little bit higher if you have the paid version. Remember, you can use my promo code for Flipgrid at the end. I'll show you that code and it'll give you the classroom version so you can play around with it. Okay, you can do a topic description. I sure do miss my students. Share with me how your summer is going. You can put a date, topic, resources. So from here, if you wanted to, like when you saw Claudio sing a song, there was a video of him at the top left. It was like his intro video to his kids. And another thing is there is an app for this. So you can also do all of this on the app as well. So topic video, if I click record video, let's see if it pops up for you. So right here, it says you have 3 minutes to record. I'm afraid it's not popping up because I'm already using the camera, but your face will pop up here and you'll record your topic video. And then it will import to your grid page. Well, this might be a little frozen. Let me go. Let's try this.
Might be that you're already using your video camera.
Yeah, I'm thinking that might be why. Let me pull this back up right here. Let me share. All right, so after you add that video, you then post it. Let me pull up the Voices for Global. Once you have your video uploaded, your grid's gonna look something like this. And you will be able to, you'll share the code with the kids. So let's say your kids are using their device to go to your grid, and all of your grids are gonna have codes. So when they open up the app, they just type in the code for that grid and it's going to take them here where they will be able to add a response. When they click that, they record themselves taking a video. It depends on what subscription you have for how long the kids can go. And then one of the things that I love about Flipgrid is that when you're done with your video, you can take a picture of what you want your cover photo to look like on Flipgrid, which is a really cool idea. So you can make it as fun as you want. Really, really neat option that Flipgrid gave for that. All right, let me share this back with you again. I'm sorry, I keep popping back and forth. All right, so there are the instructions for the use. And what I kind of just walked you through was they were very simple, basic instructions, but those are really, that's it. Once the teacher makes the grid, the kids just need the code or the link to get to it, and then they just add their voice to the grid. Now, when I did sing a song with Claudio after Jamie Donnelly tagged me in it on Twitter, I think she was the first one to sing on his Sing a Song. I think I started the video off by saying, I'm so sorry, you have to watch this. And it was, I chose not to sing, I just lip synced something. But the second time around, after I got my feet wet, I was like, okay, I'll do it another time. I used an app called Clips. It's an Apple app and it's a filter app, kind of reminds me of Instagram or Snapchat. I've even used Snapchat with Flipgrid. I was able to cartoon myself, if that's a way to explain it. If I have time later, I'll pull up that grid to show you me singing Under the Sea from The Little Mermaid. But here are some app smashing ideas. And these ideas came from a wonderful educator, the Savvy Educator on Twitter. She has a great article, a great blog post on how she app smashed different apps with Flipgrid. So check that out. But these are just 6 apps that I adore that app smash very well with Flipgrid. This is a great graphic that Flipgrid created, showing how you can use Flipgrid from beginning to the end of the year. So great ideas on how you can use it from teacher PLN all the way to project-based learning to learning reflections. And one way that a goal that I have for this coming school year, we're opening up a brand new school in my district called Keenan Elementary. And I thought, well, how cool would it be if all of our teachers or even teams created a grid introducing themselves to our community so parents can put a face to a name. So that's the goal. I've spoken to my wonderful principal. She's all in. And so I'm hoping to get that going before the school year starts. But another way you could use this too is the same thing with your students. If you're able to get the rosters early, you can get your kids to share on a grid, or even when school starts, kids can learn about the grid from day one. They could share how their summer went. They can introduce themselves to their peers. The ideas, possibilities are endless. It truly is. All right, so my challenge to you, so create an account. And if you have more questions about that, please reach out to me. I know I kind of walked through a little quick, and then I wasn't able to show you all of it because I was already sharing my screen. But if you reach out to me, we can visit again on this for sure. So after you create your account, and I'm gonna give you my code in a second, here is my challenge to you. You don't have to do all of these, but my challenge to you is to at least follow Flipgrid on Twitter. And if you're not on Twitter, get on Twitter. Twitter's the best place to be as an educator. It took me a while to realize that, but it was the best decision that I made to get on Twitter and to stay on Twitter. So follow Flipgrid. Also follow their hashtag FlipgridFever. And go to their site for sure. And then how about join Sing a Song with Claudio, or join Ved Chat with Hey Matt Fratt and the rest of the Ved Chat team, or create a grid on your own and maybe share it with your PLN and get them to respond to it as well. So if you're interested, and these all hyperlink right here, this takes you to Claudia, and I'll pull it up in a second so you can see me singing. We can try to see if I can show me singing. These link up to the sites. So here is my promo code. Want to try Flipgrid Classroom? There's my code, Amy's Store. So you can check that out. Let me see if I can pull up so I can show you what that grid looked like. Let's see. Okay, it's taken a bit to come up. So maybe while we're waiting, does anybody have any questions that they want to ask, or anything they're intrigued about, or clarification? Questions would be great. And then I also added some links to some really great blogs. Sean Fahey, Carly, Mora, great blogs. And then I gave some credit to some of my peeps.
Yeah, we have everybody is interacting here on YouTube, which is great. Lots of good questions, and some that you've already answered. And I think one of the ones that you didn't mention, maybe because you just don't know that it exists, was one of the ones we're doing with Hoonuit. So Man in the Street, who's Claudio Zavala, the one that shared.
Yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's really cool because we're doing it at ISTE, and Curran is also going to be sharing from the student perspective as well. So they'll be interviewing both educators and students on questions every day at ISTE, as well as leading up. What do they want to learn and to be a part of that grid? So I put that in here because you can respond right now before ISTE begins, or you can respond at ISTE, or even not at ISTE. So we all know that we're learning so much outside of that as well. So I've shared out the link there. It's just flipgrid.com/ISTE, and you're able to go in, and there'll be questions every day, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, with questions that will start off with the learn it, the do it, the share it, and the prove it. So it'll be really exciting just to see even the comparison between our educators and students and their responses.
Yes, can't wait for that.
Could be awesome.
All right, so for some reason I can't get the Flipgrid, and it could just be my connectivity or that I'm already sharing this. But if you go to Claudia Sing a Song and you find me singing a Little Mermaid, I look like a cartoon because I use the app Clips, and it made me a little bit more comfortable singing on camera. So if this is not something you think is your cup of tea, Snapchat it or use an app like Clips to filter the view, and sometimes it makes you a little bit more comfortable.
Amy, would it be okay if I screen shared and showed what you're talking about?
Sure.
All right, and you're going to walk me through it here. So I'm going to go ahead and share. All right. Can you guys see my screen all right?
Yes.
Perfect. So here is Claudio Sing a Song. And let me just tell you, Claudio called me out. That's why I called him, because he called me out at first. And it was one of the most terrifying experiences ever to sing a song in front of people that
Amen.
I didn't know it was going to be. And I certainly know that I can't sing. So I had fun with it, but I totally agree that it's that jumping out and just saying, I'm going to do what I'm asking my students to do. And it's going to turn out great. So here's his sing a song. I'm going to go ahead and go into that. And he has had an enormous amount of replies. I think
crazy.
Over 250 now. And Amy.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
This one right here.
Yep.
Perfect. We're going to listen to her singing.
Hi, Amy Storr here from Montgomery, Texas, and I'm going to app smash this really cool app called Clips with Flipgrid. I'm going to sing to you a song from The Little Mermaid.
And that's just not fair because we don't even hear you singing.
Oh, you don't want to hear that.
That's perfect. So you can see she was limited to some time here. She did 46 seconds with her song. Is there anything here at the end, or did you just end it?
Just ended it. Yeah, and I forgot to mention, whenever you post videos, I'm glad you pulled this up, people can reply to you. Claudio replied to me and said, what is that app that you're using? I responded back. So it started a whole other dialogue on app smashing via Sing-A-Song. So pretty cool.
That is awesome. You did a great job, even though you weren't technically singing. We're going to hold you accountable for that because now we want to hear you really sing.
Oh, no.
And I don't want to break this YouTube Hoonuit live here, so I'm not even going to attempt to show any of my singing on here, but I actually sing.
You did. You sang. You're right.
Well, let me check and see if we have any questions. And I think many of these people have joined in. They probably don't know how to set it up. So that was so helpful to know the step-by-step of setting up a grid and getting that out there to others. Let's see, I've heard them called flips before, is what Michael's stating. Way more fun than calling them responses. Interesting.
I like that, yeah.
I do too. So you're responding instead of responding, you're flipping. Awesome.
All right. It.
And then Ved Chat, as you mentioned, maybe you could talk a little bit more about that, what that Twitter chat, we call it Twitter chat. Ultimately, we're responding in Flipgrid. So maybe you could share a little bit more about that as well.
Okay, yeah, Matt Fratt, Hey Matt Fratt had this really cool idea a while back to start a Twitter chat, but using Flipgrid instead, and calls it Ved Chat. So every week, I think we've only missed 1 week since we started. Every week there's a new topic, and some of the Ved Chat moderators go on and they share a question, and then people chime in with responses. It's been a really cool thing to see evolve, and the conversations that spark from a simple question. So it's been pretty cool. I know it's going on right now, and it kind of turns into a slow chat during the week, so you can respond all week long at your convenience, and then go back in and respond to others and like others. But we've had some fun. It's been pretty cool.
It is awesome. And I like that it's a collaboration as opposed to one person putting it on. Everybody's joining in and being, it's very inviting when you feel like multiple people are already a part of it. And Matt's done an incredible job at building the right people to help get the momentum. So it's a lot of fun. It's hard because by the time that evening comes for me, the last thing I want to do is be on video. So, I think that students during classroom time, I think it's just so perfect for them to jump on in. So we have all gotten that Flipgrid fever for sure. And
Yes.
I don't see any other questions on here. Is there, let's see, I don't think that we have any other questions at this point. So I'm just going to end with, first off, Amy, thank you so much for joining in. That was
You're welcome.
Great job explaining Flipgrid fully. I've created a grid and I've done some things there. We actually used the grid in EdChange Global. So we used it for the classroom event back, I guess, February. So it was there. We lost internet. Everybody lost it. So we didn't get to use it really. We did some classroom wraps, which was a lot of fun. You do a great job with that one. But Flipgrid is definitely a tool that is upcoming, and I think we'll see a lot more of it in the future. So I appreciate you sharing that. And
you're welcome. And please if you want some extra help with this, please reach out. This was fast and furious, and I would love to visit with anybody who wants some more help.
Awesome. Thank you again. I'm just going to end with one quick thing. I'm going to screen share here. I'm going to show one piece. If you're curious about who all of these incredible people are, either one, you are one of those incredible people. We have a lot of ambassadors here tonight collaborating. It's been really cool. And then if you're not, and you're curious about where these people are becoming ambassadors and what this program means, you can go to blog.atomiclearning.com and go under resources and look up the Learning Ambassador Program. So that is there for you to come on here and get more information, as well as all of our level 1+ ambassadors that go on our page. We share out just like we saw tonight. We saw Courtney here. I know Amy's listed here. I've seen Katie here tonight, Rochelle, so I can go through this list. Lisa was sharing. I mean, many of the people in this program, it's just been an incredible journey to connect with these people. And now starting to build even students into our ambassador program, which is another, I think, amazing piece in this whole program. So in addition, you have access to the 90-day subscription with Hoonuit. If you did register, if you have not, please do that here in the next, I don't know, 5 minutes. And I'll shut down that registration link. But our learning ambassadors are able to share that out right now between now and the end of June. So we're really excited to just offer the learning opportunity. I know it's not always free, but to have our learning ambassadors come in and share their incredible expertise and passions in education is just powerful. And it's been absolutely beneficial for everybody, including myself. I sat back here and just like, whoa, I need to write that down. So as many resources as we could pull together, we'll continue to share that out. And the learning ambassadors were incredible. So thank you guys all for joining in tonight. And guess what? We're ready to end this incredible journey of Hoonuit Live, our first Hoonuit Live, and see what's in store in the future. So thank you guys again and have a great night.
Bye.